Hello, here Bart again. Today we're going to talk again about another ancient method to creating fire by friction. There are a few things that you need to create a fire drill set. The first thing that you need is a good knife, a bow with a string, a drill, a board, top board, and a piece of leather. I will explain every item in detail. The first thing I'm going to explain is a knife. For me, a good knife is a Mora knife. Any kind of knife is good as long as it's sharp. The next item you need is a bow. A bow is a piece of wood, a little bit bent, unflexible, not green wood, and about the length from your armpit to your fingertips, with a string. For me, a good string, what works for me, is nylon 3 mm of diameter. The next two pieces you need for a fire drill set are a drill and a board. You have to remember the wood has to be very dry. When you tap the wood, you hear the sound when it's dry. The best kind of wood to start a fire drill set are willow and lime. Fire drill. These are lime, willow, hazel. The most important thing to remember from whole the fire drill set is to check the hardness of the wood. You do this by making an impression with your thumbnail in the wood. When it goes too far, the wood is too much decayed, it's not good to produce an ember. When you take the drill and the board from the same branch, you're sure to have the same hardness of the wood. Another thing for a drill is it has to be straight, otherwise it's gonna wobble. One side has to be sharp, the other side has to be blunt. The length of the drill for me is 22 centimeters. It depends how tall you are. When you have longer shin bones, your drill has to be longer. The next piece we're going to talk about are the boards. These are the boards from lime, willow, hazel. The most important thing for a board, it has to be flat. Flat, so you can place it on the ground so it doesn't wobble. It has to be a little wider than the diameter of your drill. For the top board, you can use any kind of wood that's harder than the drill you're using. You can also use a piece of bone with a hole in it, a piece of rock with a hole in it. For the lubrication of the hole, you can use pork fat, green leaves, anything that minimizes the friction in the hole. The last piece we need is a piece of leather, a leaf, a piece of wood to collect the dust and the ember we created by friction. Next thing what we're going to do is preparing the board to create an ember, to create this. Make sure not to put the board on the drill on the wet floor. The wet floor, the moisture in the wet floor can prevent to create an ember. I'm going to carve into the wood like this. We do this because we have to insert the blunt part of the drill like this to burn in the drill in the board before we cut out the notch. You insert the drill on the cord like this. It has to be on the outside of the bow. Then you place the blunt side on the board. The top piece top board you take like this, and you start to drill. Gently, not a lot of pressure, just drilling. When the whole diameter of the drill is drilled in, you stop. It should look like this. When you drilled in the board, you have to resharpen the sharp end and the blunt end. Now carve an eighth of the diameter from the drill. About this. The most important thing is not to put your drill or your hardboard on the ground, because the moisture in the ground can prevent you to create an ember. Okay, be prepared. Make a bird's nest to collect the ember and to produce flames, and we're going to drill an ember. Put in your drill like shown before, like this. Put it in the V-notch, top board, and we're going to start drilling. Now we have smoke, and we're gently going to push another 20 to 30 times. Okay, that's enough. Now we got a pile of wood smoke. We're going to tap it to collect all the wood dust. Now we have an ember, and we place it in the bird nest. Try to create fire. The smoke is getting thicker. Thicker. Wider and wider. And we have smoke and flames.